Yo. What's good, man? This is your boy at DFSMasterMind _ over on Twitter. Feel free to follow me. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today's date is March the 28th. We got a 6-game slate, man. I'm playing on DraftKings today. It should be an 8-game slate, but DraftKings took those 2 late games off, which I kind of like it, man. I'm going to be honest. I think we already had enough goodness, man, to play a night of DFS, and throwing those other 2 games in there would have just made it, just more decisions, man. So I'm glad for what we got, but I'm gonna definitely have me a few lineups in the late lineups, late locks with those 2 games. But anyways, man, I'm back at it with the 3 for 3. Yesterday, a small recap, brief recap. I faded Zebo, man, and the reason I did that was because I didn't think he was going to have to do too much. And I thought a guy like Jermichael Green, that's who I went with instead, I thought he will have more of an opportunity to shine, man, and show up. I didn't think the big dogs was going to have to, play as hard as they did. But I faded Zebo. He was like 60% on, man, and that's that, man. I just fell out the cash, man. I was doing good, and it just slowly kept dropping. But it's all right, man. We back at it today. Starting off with some value, we got Nick Stauskas, man. I'm looking at him, man. Good matchup, Brooklyn. Like the games I really like. I like the Brooklyn Philly game, of course. No defense, man, just whatsoever is gonna be in that one. I also like the Atlanta-Phoenix game. I think that's the same situation. Shouldn't be too much defense being played. They should get up and down the court. And then, of course, man, Golden State, Houston, you got to love that. Everybody's going to have somebody in this game, or at least you should, I think. Because it's going to be a lot of 3 points, man. That's all I can think about. I think it's just going to be a lot of running up and down the court, shooting threes, man. And both teams got a gang of shooters. So I like that one. Kind of like the under-the-radar game for me is this Miami-Detroit. I like a few options out of this. Minnesota, Indiana, that should be a pretty good game. I think I had a lineup with Jeff Teague. I think he's in a decent situation. And then, of course, Milwaukee and Charlotte. That should be a battle, man. I think that should be a really close game. May not be the fastest pace, but I think it's plenty of opportunity for players to, get these fantasy points. But anyway, starting off, man, Nick Stauskas, dude. We got the news that Henderson is out. TLC will likely get the start, but I think Stauskas will get the majority of the minutes. And going up against some Randy Foye defense or, any of these Brooklyn guys, I think, it should just be a back and forth, man, shooting the ball, looking sloppy. I'm just looking for a player that can get hot in this game because, a few people definitely will. That's how you're going to get your scoring runs. So I think Stauskas is a proven NBA player. Should see about 30 minutes, cheap price tag. I'm going to take a chance on him. I like him for value. Another value play I like, Sam Decker, 3-6. No Anderson. They got Ariza starting at the 4. Sam Decker backs up power forward and small forward. You got to love him. Last game he played around 25 minutes. That was his first game with Anderson out. And this Golden State game, man, I think, you're going to want to have somebody. I like Harden. I like Curry. I like Thompson. I like Draymond. I like all these guys, man, but I want to find the cheapest, really the cheapest part, to this game that's going to be in a good situation. And I think for value, Sam Decker, I mean, with his price tag, he could bring back 20 points in this situation, man, at least. So you can take a look at him. I don't know if Monte Ellis still still qualifies as value. I mean, his price tag is still cheap, man. He's at 4.6. He got the starting job. Monte Ellis been balling lately, man. They're in Indiana. They're going through it a little bit, man. Big Jefferson just got hurt. Paul George been struggling a little bit. I think he'll have a bounce back game tonight. But yeah, they still trying to get in form, man, for the playoffs. So I look for them to try to go hard. And Monte Ellis has been kind of, doing what he can to keep that team afloat, keep them, in the swing of things. I like Monte, a proven veteran. Like I said with Joe Johnson, man, like players like this, these are like trusted assets to teams wherever they go, man. So you can always look for people like him in this situation. So I like him for value. Some honorable mentions, Sean Long. I know people are starting to get the wave, man. He's been backing up Rashard Holmes in a good spot, man. Up tempo, should be fine. Thaddeus Young, I wanted to talk about him because this man is a starting power forward, and he costs 4.4, man. Anytime you see a starter getting that low, and with a proven guy like Thaddeus, man, you don't expect to see that. So, like, his name is kind of drawing me in a little bit just because I know who he is. I know what he can do. And to be real, he just hasn't been shooting the ball well, man. And I think with him not shooting the ball, they're keeping him off the court. But I would look at him for value. I think he'll have to play a decent role tonight, man, to get this win against a Minnesota team that's kind of, they gritty, man. They can score a lot of points. And Thibodeau, he's going to have his people out there playing, so it's going to be competitive. So you can look at that. Young, C.J. Miles, of course. And then Chris Dunn, he's been seeing a lot of run. I don't know why. I know Rubio, he was sucking it up the other day. Like, he wasn't shooting the ball well. So they brought in Chris Dunn, and he played a lot of minutes. But I think they try to keep Rubio in the game. But Chris Dunn he's 3-2, man. You can definitely take a chance on him. And then the last little piece will be the Brooklyn players like AC, LeVert, CJ McDaniels, all these people, man. Like somebody, Spencer Dinwiddie, somebody's going to get the minutes. Isaiah Whitehead, somebody's going to have to score. So if you can kind of pinpoint which one you like, take a chance on them, man. That's all about that. That's all value is, man. You got to find a player that you feel like you think is in an okay situation, man, and that can beat that price tag. That's really all we're looking for, man. So that's a few value options. I know I was talking about that for a minute, but now I'm going to speed it up. And now we're moving on to, these are some of my favorite plays tonight with the under the radar and my 3 all-in plays. First, under the radar, I got Cody Zeller, man. Milwaukee, I think they're kind of soft inside, man. Thon Maker is not a starting center. At least he shouldn't be. And when Moose comes in, his defense can be okay sometimes, but I think this up-tempo game, I think it should be a decent matchup. It should be a hardcore, like fought out game. I think it's a decent spot for a lot of these players, man. Nicholas Batum, Kemba, ABC. I don't know if Middleton is playing. I still haven't seen that news. They say he didn't go to morning shoot around. So just stay up on your news, man. We got to do that. Say it every video. You already know. Oh, and by the way, don't fade Westbrook, dude. Just don't do it, man. He had a nice comeback win yesterday. We don't do that. But anyways, yeah, I think he's in a really good spot tonight, man. I like him. Moving on, I think he's in a decent spot. I'm going to look at his price tag one more time. Under the radar, man, I think a lot of people are going to be going after the big dogs. Going to be going after the Towns and the Whitesides and Draymonds, and they're all in good spots. But a cheap guy like him a lot, especially for the center position, I think he's fair, man. 5'3", and he's been balling here recently. So I like him. Second player under the radar is James Johnson, of course, point forward. I talk about him all the time. That's my guy. He was almost an all-in. He's on 3 of my 4 lineups, so I always feel good about him. Going up against Detroit, I think that should be another good game too, man. Detroit, if they want to make the playoffs, they have to win this game. It's no more losing. So it's gonna be a close game. I like the matchup. I think him and Tobias. I think Tobias is in a good spot as well. But I think it's gonna be it's gonna be one of those games, man, where if you guess right on the players that are gonna go in, you will love it, man, because it has all the potential for OT. I don't see anybody getting blown out, and it's just a nice matchup in general. So I like James Johnson, of course, and if he hits his shots, man, if he hits his shots, he will go 6x, man, because he does all the peripheral stuff. That's why I feel so comfortable with him, man, because I know he's going to go out there and give me 7 rebounds. I know he's going to give me 4 assists. Like, he's going to do the little things to keep he's going to keep himself on the court, man, and once he has that scoring, that's when he really crushes. He's a Draymond Green type, in my opinion, man. That's how I look at him. He's a really good, solid player. Next, under the radar, I got Ersan Ilyasova. He's at 6 racks, man. And I'm really digging him in GPPs, man, because I think at that price tag, I think he's slightly overpriced. And I still like him just because I think ownership will be very low on him. And he has he has a matchup at home versus a rookie and Marquise Chris. I think he's really solid, man. Really solid tonight. Dwight been balling. We got to talk about him for a second. Dwight has been doing this thing, man. But I think the up tempo, the way Phoenix plays, Ersan is gonna benefit, man, and young post players, man. He's gonna eat them up. He's gonna stretch Marquise Chris out. He's going to make Marquise Chris foul him. I think he should have a really solid game. And I think he's going to be super under the radar, man. So I'm all in on him, especially on my GPPs at a higher price tag. But anyways, now it's my 3 all in. These are guys I have in all of my lineups, 100% across the board. These are people I feel the most comfortable with. And I'm going all in. Starting off with Pat Bev, man, versus, I got to get a piece. Man. I was looking for the cheapest, safest piece I could find, man. And I landed on Pat Bev. And I love having, on DraftKings, I love having another point guard in that shooting guard spot. But which is crazy because it's almost like Pat Bev plays shooting guard for Houston. Even though he starts at the point guard. James Harden is the real point guard. But I like Pat Bev, man. He struggled shooting the ball in his last game, and Pat Bev is just he's a dog, man. He's gonna get up for this game versus Curry. We already know he don't really like him, so it's gonna be a real close competitive game, and I think he's gonna get it rolling from the 3-point line. And he's 4-9. He's in a good spot to bring back value on that price tag, man. That's what we got to look for. Another guy that I'm doing the same thing with Pat Bev is Ish Smith, man. Starting point guard going up against Miami. I understand that Miami is solid, at defense. I do. But I think Ish Smith, he's going to push the pace, man. And he's a starting point guard. He's cheap. I like him tonight. My last one is going to be Dario Saric, 7-7 versus Brooklyn. I don't have to explain this one too much, man. Decent price tag. He's the best player on the team. It's gonna be takeover mode. No defense, like I said. So, I'm going all in on those 3 guys, man. But anyway, that's gonna do it. This is your boy at DFS Mastermind. If you have any questions, man, hit me up. Let's bless up, man. Let's get it. We're gonna cash out tonight.